Welcome to the Calmer Self podcast. I'm Nadine. Join me to learn how to connect with the calmer version of yourself. I'll share with you my tips and coping strategies for reducing feelings of stress, overwhelm and guilt so that you can live a productive life with ease and joy. And there'll be inspiration from other wellbeing therapists, experts in relaxation and fellow calm crusaders. Well, hello everybody. Today I am so pleased to be chatting to the amazing Susan Axelrod, who is the confidence coach, amongst many, many other things. Now, Susan and I met through the KS Media Group, and I've got Cornelia Stephanie to thank for introducing us. We connected instantly, didn't we, Susan? And yeah. I'd like to say we're friends now. We have a wonderful, deep connection. We can see the benefit of calm and confidence going together, and that's all intertwined, and we are building that flourishing relationship together, aren't we? And my experience, which I want to share with you all today, of working with Susan is that the confidence coach is exactly what Susan is. She walks her talk. Every time I speak to Susan, I get a boost. You really, really share. You give me suggestions, you give me tips, you just ooze that wonderful confidence, comes out of every pore. And I really benefit from that. So I'm so grateful that you are in my world. And as I say, this is why I wanted to talk to you. I know you've got your own things to share with people about your journey, and obviously all the wonderful work that you do. But welcome, Susan Axelrod. I'm so pleased to have you here today.
Thank you. I totally agree with everything that you said. I refer to you as my friend across the pond, and I'm honestly delighted to be here because I think the message of confidence and calm is vitally life-changing. And so I'm really happy to be in this discussion with you.
Yeah. I think you're right. It is life-changing, isn't it? And how it goes together. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Susan has her own journey from Taipei, I think you call yourself, don't you, to calm. But you are also, you do many, many things. You're a podcast, you've got several podcasts, which we'll talk about a bit later. But you're also an author of 3 books, aren't you? Now, those 3 books are, and this will tell you a lot about what's in them. The first one is Your Job is to Be. So simple. The second one is Meditations to Ease, Calm and Inspire. I so love that. Of course I do. And the third book is Dear Younger Self. Now, those books, obviously, you can find out a lot more about Susan and what you've done and how you've come to be who you are today. But if you'd like just to share a little bit with everybody, your passion, your joy, why you are driven to do what you do and do it so beautifully. What sort of fires you up and gets you going?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Isn't it? I'll do it just quickly.
Yeah, I want to call in and call out myself that my 4th book is nearly done, and my 4th book is going to be called Dear Future Self. Perfect. So I want to plant the flag in the ground on that. Yeah. So the thing that gets me going is the authentic voice that rises up in me and comes out of me to be more confident, comfortable, and calm in your own skin. Mm-hmm. Honestly, Nadine, this is something that is taken away from girls after the power years of 6, 7, 8. You come into 5, into school consciousness, you come into 6, you come into 7, and at 8 you're like the girl with the cape, the hands on hips, you're in the power girl space. And then shortly after, much sooner than it used to happen, shortly after, some of these inherent traits and characteristics begin to get taken away, often by our families of origin without intention, often, unfortunately, intentionally and maliciously by molestation or verbal abuse or even emotional neglect.
Yeah.
All these things begin to take away that sense of self that we actually are born with and we're born into. And so that, honestly, working with women in the second half of life, Most women have done a great job being who they are, doing what they were taught and what they were told. And now you come into the second half of life where you may be a little bit more free from the daily minute-to-minute responsibilities of either parenting, if you're a birth parent, or if you're not a birth parent, often you get roped into being a mama at work.
Yes, you do.
And so all of that busyness allows you to just keep going on, doing what you're doing. At some point, many women, when they're coming into the power age of 50, some younger, and some even older, not till 60 or even later, realize that all of this has happened and they want to find what I call voice again.
Yes.
And so as a confidence coach, I see people, and that's what you referred to earlier, is I see the soul in others.
Yeah.
And then when I see the soul and I validate the soul, then the soul rises, and that's where that confidence comes in. It's no longer like you have to be perfection, right? You introduced me as the recovering type A that I am. When you're in recovery, Nadine, the recovery movement means you're kind of always in it, recovering from it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, and so I'm in the healing, stage of that. And that's what drives me in passion every single day in my work.
Beautiful, beautiful. I so love that. And you mentioned about how we start off when we're younger, don't we, with that inner confidence and knowing ourselves and trusting our intuition. And it reminds me that you are, thanks to our lovely connection, you really do. You're so generous. You are the sponsor of the podcast that I do with Cornelia Stephanie, which is Self-Realization and the Inner Child. And that is exactly about going back and healing wounds and growing by realizing our younger self. Yeah.
And I want to say that is why I asked Cornelia Stephanie if I could be the sponsor of that podcast. I didn't get solicited by her or sold by her or
you offered, didn't you?
Asked if I could, not just offered, but I activated myself because of that exact reason. You're so right.
Yeah.
Self-realization and the inner child is absolutely where it's at. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what you talk about, isn't it, all the time? This is what you help people with. So that connection, again, I'm very grateful for. It's wonderful to have you as our sponsor as well. And it is really that whole idea of your intuition. And I think you talk about intuitive business, don't you? I hear you say that a lot. And it is business from the heart. It is. You work with a lot of business people, so do I. You support, you help business people grow and flourish. And it is about that intuition, isn't it? So could you explain a bit more about that and how you give people the advice and the guidance?
Yeah, I love talking about the intuitive business system that I created. It's not just business from the heart, it's business from the soul. In particular, working with women, one of the things that I see and validate is a woman's intuition. And that really is the basis of the calm and confident business, or I should say confident and calm, because I want to talk about that in a second.
Yes.
But that is where you and I have connected. When you say that, you feel confident when you speak with me, it's only because I'm validating exactly who you are, exactly what you're saying, exactly how you're doing it. And in the new way of business, which is your way. If you're doing it, then it's your way. And if you're doing it, then it's your responsibility to do it in a way that works for you and your clients or your customers. And so in the intuitive business system, I talk about the 3 V's: your vision for your business, your values upon which every single thing you do is based, and your voice, and then the 4 S's. And the first S is sacred. The first S is the sacred. It is the sacred intuition. It's the believing in myself. And then we move into strategy, systems, and structure. And I, don't need to go into that detail because we're in the confident and calm voice. And that is what the basis of intuitive business is. Now, I just want to say one more thing, and that is this. When you're in your confident and calm self, in voice and in spirit, in a soul-connected way, then you can rise in business because no one can compete with you.
Yeah.
No one can compete with your intuition. And if you embrace and, absorb that, then you're never selling. You're only offering out what you do. And the people who are intended to work with you in business will flock to you and hire you, as I'm finding myself. And I believe as you're finding also, Nadine.
Yes, you're so right. You strip it right back and you keep it very simple, which I love. I love that, because it is about your intuition, isn't it? And really celebrating our uniqueness, because we are one of a kind, all of us, aren't we? And you're absolutely right. That whole idea of in business, it doesn't have to be so hard. We don't have to worry about competition. We don't have to even concern ourselves. We are who we are. And exactly as you say, if we tune into that, that's all we need, isn't it? That's really all we need.
It really is. In my work, I call it business confidence coaching. I don't call myself a business coach because I believe there are other business coaches out there doing such important work, and I can't compete with them. But no one can compete with me when it comes to business confidence coaching, because I am a seer of souls. And once I see my client's soul, we're just in the rise of creating a profitable, sustainable business, because we're using this inner self to produce, not all these external things that you feel nervous or uncomfortable or anxious about. And so that really is the basis of my business confidence coaching. And then I have my intuitive business system that I teach inside that, or I also do that on the outside in training. And all of my clients tell me they love working with me because I'm a whole life coach. That's another thing about women in business and women allowing themselves to use their innate inherent characteristics, the nurturing mamas that we are, whether or not we have our own birth children, we are nurturing mamas. And that's where, when you infuse and invoke love in business, you're not trying to impress anyone else. You're not trying, or as our friend Cornelia calls it, efforting. And that's when you can just be who you are in business, and people want to work with you. And I'm finding this so much. I also have a weekly business accountability group. It's a very limited number of women. We meet weekly in accountability, and that is just a love fest of growing business. So there's lots of ways that I do this.
That's what I was going to say. You obviously work one-to-one with people, don't you? But you do a lot of group support as well, don't you? So, and I think I'm right in saying that you've got a Facebook page, which is What Will Your Legacy Be? Is that right? Where you go live at 5 every day. Is that right?
That's exactly right. My business page is called What Will Your Legacy Be? Because the basis of all my work is legacy creation. And that is something, the reason that is the basis of my work is that I have discovered the secret to every human's deepest desire and deepest fear. The deepest fear is that you won't be remembered, and the deepest desire is to be remembered. My coaching work or my group work activates people to be remembered in the way they want to be remembered, instead of worrying about whether or not they will be. So that's my website, whatwillyourlegacybe.com, and my Facebook page.
Yes, and it's beautiful. And I would encourage everyone to join in with your lives at 5 and just get involved, because it is beautiful. It's a beautiful place to be, isn't it? And I think it's so key, because when I first heard that, what will your legacy be? I exactly thought what you've just described. What am I leaving behind? What's my imprint on the world? What am I going? And it makes you, it encourages you to look at it from another angle, and again makes it a lot simpler, doesn't it, to just say, well, what do I want to say? And it gives you, again, it's giving you permission, isn't it, to go, what is my legacy? What am I going to be? And it's freeing, isn't it, to think of it that way round. And like I
Yeah,
say,
and
that permission
also,
you give, yeah, is wonderful,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
totally permission. You hit right on that. And one of the roles, I guess, that I play, I created that tagline in 2004. And I had a little card. In those days, you had a business card, and I
Yes, yeah.
laminated the card, and it just had that one single question on it. It didn't have my name or anything. And I made hundreds of these cards that were laminated, and I just handed them out. And in those days, you went to conferences and trade shows, and
Yes,
I
yeah,
just
back in
handed
the
them out
day.
to anybody sitting on a bus next to me.
Mm,
So I also want to say that I have, to the point of this part of our conversation, I've created a new package this year that I'm really excited to talk about here. And I thank you for the opportunity. And that is what I call your legacy library. I have a new package to help anyone who has a message to share, either in public as you and I do, or in a private way, to speak out their message in a number of brief videos that I will facilitate. I will
brilliant.
work with people to create up to 52, and 52 is so that you can roll them out weekly if you want, brief 10 or 15-minute videos where you can speak your voice in legacy creation. And so other people call it creating a YouTube channel. I call it creating a legacy library. And so
Beautiful, yeah.
this is a new thing that I just honestly, Nadine, in the intuitive business system, we're intuitively allowing things to rise. And in my own commitment to my business and thinking about what it is that I do, what I offer, what I've shared, what the successes I've had, and also
Yeah,
what the challenges are, I realized that this is something I can easily do with anyone. They can hire me
yes,
for this package.
yeah,
We will meet weekly, and every week we're going to do 3 or 4 recorded bits, which then I will share with you. And you can either hire a producer to make it look fancy or do what I do, upload it to YouTube and let it stay there for your
yeah,
legacy
yeah.
library.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So much support there, isn't there? Because I find that with so many people, they have things to share, but they don't know how. And
Yes,
also they haven't got that. They go, oh, I don't know what to say. So that support that you're offering there is so valuable, isn't it? So that people can
it
go,
is so valuable.
yeah,
It is the fee that I'm charging is $2,900,
uh-huh,
but the lifetime impact
yeah,
is
it's forever.
100% invaluable.
Yes,
And
yeah,
so
that will
it's a
be.
very, very good price point to create an entire legacy
Mm,
library.
mm. And I'd be really interested to see how people are going to grow during that. If you do 52 recordings with them or 52
Yeah,
episodes, that will be fascinating, won't it, to watch that journey? And because
that's so
people will
brilliant,
grow,
Nadine.
you'll just see, people themselves will see their growth with you, and then other people will see that too. So it's a beautiful thing that you're offering people, isn't it, that you're
Yeah,
going to give them. So yes,
yeah,
encourage everyone to get involved with that. That sounds wonderful. So
yeah.
that's
I
something I
want to
didn't know you were doing. So woo.
Yes, it's new for this year,
Mm,
and it's intended for anybody who hears it and really needs it and
mm,
just contacts me. But I want to speak about calm and confident.
yeah.
I want to speak about what resonates so much between us. My methodology, and you didn't know this because we didn't know each other when I created my methodology many years ago. I have a 4-part methodology. The first phase is consciousness, coming to conscious awareness of your thoughts, knowing that thoughts are things, knowing that you can control your thoughts, coming to conscious awareness out of the, sort of self-neglect that we're in most of the time. The second phase is clarity. And so right away, because I connect right up with people's souls, this is what you referenced, like every
Yes.
time you
Yeah.
said, I'm in helping people find clarity, come to clarity from the conscious space that they're in. Then when you come to consciousness and you find clarity, then you can get that feeling of confidence. That's the third phase of my methodology. But the fourth phase of my own methodology as the confidence coach is calm.
Yeah.
It's the feeling that you feel when you come through those first 3 phases, which you are indicating and showing by saying what you said about work. Even we haven't really worked together, just been together,
Yes,
had
we are. Yeah.
conversation.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so for me, in our work together, we also have launched our own series
We have.
called Investing in Your Education for Confidence and Calm.
Yes.
And I suppose it could go the other way, calm to confidence, but that's sort of where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And they do. They just go together. They certainly, it's that cycle, isn't it? Calm, confidence, what does come first? Doesn't matter, does it? They go together. And
Yes.
that's the beauty, isn't it? And that was one of the first things you said to me about, we have so much that we can do together. And I've got to be honest with you, when I first heard that, I thought, okay, we'll see. It wasn't obvious to me, but
Yeah.
it so is now. It so is now. And I get it. Sometimes I'm a bit slow to pick up, but you're exactly right. And it's beautiful again that that you are so generous. Go, let's do this together. Let's do this. And because not just for me to be involved with you, but also for everyone else, what we offer together is much more powerful, isn't it? And I find that with anybody, when we come together, we are offering so much more. And we've done one episode, haven't we? And we both said it's magic. So I encourage everyone to listen to that. It's on both of our YouTube channels, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's just so magical, our connection and on what we can bring to people together is lovely. So again, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, also there's another piece that I teach in the intuitive business system, and that is this: yes, period. Yes, period. Yes, period. Not no, not no, not no. So for example, other people wish that they could have a podcast. Other people wish that they, so many things about, mostly people in our type of business sharing messaging. Other people just sit around and wish they could do it and ask themselves, why can't I? I stopped that years ago. I've been going live daily for more than 3 years now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even before that was my daily life. But even before that, I simply started speaking. I stopped waiting for other people to give me permission to do what I wanted to do in business.
Do it.
And so I have that with you. I launched another live conversation series with Evie Lennon, who is author of Drawing Comfort for Chronic Conditions. And in my podcast discussion with her, I said, we're doing this. This conversation is too important. We are going to do this. I'm not charging her. She's not charging me. Nobody has to pay for these things. It's just our way of creating legacy voice to uplift the world. Isn't that really what we're doing, Nadine?
Yes, exactly. So it's what we want to do, isn't it? Share. And you're the same as I am. Whatever we feel, whatever we've learnt, whatever we've discovered about ourselves, we want to share, don't we? And it's just in us, isn't it? So it's beautiful to do that. And I really feel that everything that you say, I mean, you're doing it again to me, boosting the confidence all the time. And it's just so exciting, isn't it? There's that feeling of going, oh, do it. And you say that all the time. And why not? When someone first suggested to me to do Calm Myself podcast, I did exactly what you just said. I went, oh, can't do that. And then it's like, get those obstacles out the way and doing it, I'm doing it. But my first reaction was, oh, I can't. But yeah, we can.
Right, you can. And you used the word earlier, permission. In my confidence coaching personal intensive, permission, once I connect up with somebody's soul and I begin to glean what it is that they want, right? Helping them come to conscious awareness, then I have an intuitive permission giving. I also speak it out verbally through my voice, but I'm in the energy of permission giving. And that's what you have said. When you say every time we meet, you feel that little bit, that's what's happening there. Because I'm no longer willing to be told no by anyone else who's in a traditional paradigm, an old box that I broke out of as I came into my woman power space, which for many women is coming into 50. And now, because I work with women in the second half of life, I have many people who are 60 and in their 60s. I even had a 71-year-old client. I had a 75-year-old client. And that is because they want to really be in their autonomous space. Cornelia uses the word sovereign, and that's what we're talking about here. I love this idea of the, to help people understand, what does it feel like to feel confident? And what you help people with is, what does it feel like to feel calm? And Nadine, I will say, I've learned so much from reading your material, watching your material, listening to you speak, getting to know you personally, and also having had one of your sessions myself, which is what made me gift one of your sessions to my friend. Anybody who's watching this right now or listening to this, I want to encourage you to understand all these people who do these wonderful things like Nadine with the calmer self. You can gift that to your sister or your soul sister. You could gift it to your mother. You could gift it to a man. It's not restricted to women, but you can gift these sessions. And that's part of what we talked about of investing, right, in the education for self.
Yeah. And I think it's so key, isn't it? Because like you say, you gifted that to your friend, and it's so special for me to know that you've gifted it, for that person to know it adds the power, doesn't it, to it, and the intention. And it's so beautiful to do that. And the same with what you do, why not gift it to, like, if you've got a friend or someone, your mother, like you say, who's always going, I want to do this, I can't, I'm too old, that kind of thing, because I hear that a lot. Too old, never too old. Then gift what Susan offers. Go, right, I'm going to sign you up for Susan's course, I'm going to do this, get on the podcast, talk about what you do. That is a gift, isn't it? That's a beautiful
It is.
So,
and do you know that a former client of mine, aka a friend, because every one of my clients is a friend, a former client of mine did gift 2 sessions with me to her sister-in-law.
There you go.
And her sister-in-law had such breakthrough. I can't even say the details, but she had such breakthrough from her own stuck place, feeling unconfident and out of control in the job that she had, yearning so deeply to want to create a consultancy. In 2 sessions, she got 2 5-figure contracts.
Wow.
And now she is going to be working with me to build in the structure of a business that she didn't even think she could ever do. That was in 2 sessions. It was really fun.
And that was a gift, was it? So
that was a gift from her sister-in-law.
Brilliant. So I will say to everybody, get involved in all that Susan does, take a look, find out. And if you're not thinking of it for yourself, which probably most people will, then think about who you can gift that to, who you can share that with, because it is really, really valuable, isn't it? To just go, it's not just about what you can do for yourself, but what you can do for, I would say, for the people that you love, because that's what it is, isn't it? We can share. So on that note, Susan, where can everybody find out all that you offer? Where's the best place to look for you? Where can we find you? Where can we get involved?
Go to any app store and download the KS Media Group app. I am in the directory as a resource, as a leading practitioner, as is Nadine. And honestly, it is a one-stop shop to get connected to me and to Nadine and to many other leading practitioners. I want to encourage and invite people to join me live. Nadine, I now go live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube daily at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I love people to find me and join me and comment and ask questions.
Brilliant. That is so lovely. So yes, I would encourage everyone to get involved, because like I say, every time I speak to you, there's a little nugget, there's something that lifts me up. So you do that all the time, don't you? So yeah, get involved. That is wonderful. So I could talk to you forever, Susan, and I want to invite you back at some point so that we can continue more, because there's so much more that we can talk about. Who knows where we'll be next time you come back, what new intuitive business ideas you'll have. But for today, I have loved chatting to you. Thank you so much for taking this time.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, and I'm looking forward to our next personal live conversation, investing in your education for a calm and confident life.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Susan.
Take good care.
Thank you for listening to the Calmer Self podcast. Please rate and review. And if you want support, advice, accountability and inspiration to make the changes you need to manage your stress and live your life with ease and joy, check out the Calmer Self Facebook page There's also more information on LinkedIn, Nadine Award-winning Changemaker, and please visit my website www.calmerself.co.uk.